Good morning. Wow, what a day Super Tuesday was, both nationally and locally with the election results. Let's sort through what happened as best we can and talk a little bit about what happens next with our guest this morning, the chairman of the Massachusetts Democratic Party, Gus Bickford. Gus, welcome back.
John, thanks for having me.
Always good to have you. We appreciate it. So how do you explain Elizabeth Warren's dreadful showing here?
It all comes down to Donald Trump. People wanted to see and vote for someone that they felt could get rid of the darkness that we currently have and turn over the White House. And I think that what we saw in 36 hours prior to the primary, people making the decision that that was a consensus candidate, Joe Biden was a consensus candidate that could beat Donald Trump in November.
Because I've seen tactical voting in primaries before. However, they do tend to be activists and really plugged-in people going to the polls to express their ideology or what have you. But this, I've never seen tactical voting like this.
You know, I personally have never seen an endorsement by Jim Clyburn's. If people heard about it, I'm sure. But if they never watched it, they should go back and watch it.
The South Carolina congressman who endorsed Biden. Yeah.
He did not. Biden didn't spend a dime in Massachusetts or, you know, on TV or anything else. And I think that's it's just all a continuation of what that endorsement meant. If you saw it, it was heartfelt, and that's the kind of coalescence and what came back to Joe Biden for this primary.
Well, you know, when it comes to voters, Democrats and independents who went into the Democratic primary, coming to a decision that Senator Warren, however much they might like her, was not the right candidate to take on Trump. I mean, we did see that in poll results in the fall of 2018 before she ever jumped in. The Globe poll showed 53% of Massachusetts residents didn't want her to run. Could the message, Gus, in part be that after Dukakis, Tsongas, Kerry, Romney, Moulton, Patrick, and Warren, a lot of voters are sick of Massachusetts politics using us as a launch pad for their national ambition?
No, I'm not going to go there. I hear that. Don't see it.
You don't buy it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I really believe that as people look at Elizabeth Warren and think about everything that she has contributed to this, there's no one that has put out more plans, more details. This state loves her. That's not what this vote was about. This vote was about who can beat Donald Trump. When you look at the turnout, just at the primary, the highest turnout ever. Now, at this time when I only know of 91% of the vote in, it was still outpaced 2008. So when we see the final vote, it's going to be historic. It's a continuation of what happened in the 2018 midterms in Alabama, and frankly started in the Women's March. There is so much energy of us collectively understanding, hey, a mistake was made in 2016. We need to fix it.
So this is get rid of Trump energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a week ago at this time, we, the chattering classes, were all sitting around talking about Bernie Sanders' perhaps inexorable momentum. Where did he go wrong?
I don't think people should say that he went wrong, because there is absolutely a tremendous army and set of passion behind Bernie Sanders. It's whether that passion continues to grow. And so I don't think that he was able to make it grow, and there was and we don't have a nominee yet, so he still may be there. I think that the consensus is that Biden's momentum will carry him forward, but the fact of the matter is there's so much energy behind Bernie that, you know, it just may not have been able to, you know, get out to a larger group of people.
Well, we got to take a break, but very briefly, give me an example of something he could have done differently to grow that support.
Probably just, I think that he could have held back on some of the types of communication they did against Elizabeth. That was here in Massachusetts, you heard it, that, you know, we didn't need that criticism, the Elizabeth Warren folks saying that.
Yeah, that's been a criticism of the Sanders universe for some time. All right.